Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, I guess, this all-star panel, Married at First Sight. Now, I'm flying solo today, man. I just want to bring you guys my thoughts on Married at First Sight. Been a busy weekend for each and every one of us. Everybody got things going on this weekend, but I still wanted to bring you a discussion and get you involved as the listeners, as you as the fans, to get involved with this discussion on Married at First Sight. We are winding this season up. You guys, drop in the chat, talk in the chat. Let me know what's going on, what you think. Has this been one of the boring seasons as some people think it is? Give me your opinions today, man. It's just questions and answers. I'll give you my thoughts and my opinions. I want you to chime in. Let's make this thing as interactive as possible. I want to definitely get into Chris and Christine and Chris and Nicole. I want to talk about Kirsten and Shaq a little bit. So just let me know your thoughts. Chime in, hit me up here. We're gonna get into this thing. We're about to get into Married at First Sight. For all those coming in, come on in, man. Just me today. I'm rocking. Each and every one of y'all got a good Sunday afternoon, so we can talk about it. And let's get to it. We've seen Chris and Nicole, man. Chris and Nicole. We see that open up. I want to get with them right real quick because she is still searching and looking for answers. And I kind of like I'm kind of a little bit upset at Chris. Like, yo, give this woman some answers, right? Like, stop dodging the situation. As a guy, as a man, or as a person that really want to be committed into this relationship, you look like he's dodging away from his responsibility. He's dodging some things that he needs to have in place, right? He's dodging the fact that you and her need to have a conversation about what it looks like after decision day, whether it's going to be an apartment, whether it's going to be your house, whether it's going to be a place for the three dogs, whether you're going to put the dog in the kennel. She needs some answers. I just don't like the fact that she's real pushy about it, and that she's not giving him some space and some time to go behind it. But I think at the end of the day, it's built really on him because she already told him, look, I want this relationship. I want to be in this relationship. I want to be around you, and I want to be. We're going to do this thing. And obviously they already had a conversation. Look, we're going to do this thing. We're going to we're going to play the part after the 8 weeks. The 8 weeks are going to be me and you. So let's find, since it's going to be me and you, we already made the decision. We already made the agreement that we're going to be together after 8 weeks. Let's find a place. Question, Chris, what you holding up for? He's not 100% sure, right? He's not 100% sure. Is she the one? Is she where I want to be at? Do I want to live with her for the rest of my life? He does compromise a lot with her. Nicole's a little bit pushy. But I think there's come a point in time where Chris needs to step his foot down and put his feet down and like, you know what? This is what we're going to do. She's looking for a person to man up just a little bit. And Chris needs to man up. He needs to be, hey, you know what? Let me take my role in this. Let me take my part in this and let me man up and do what I need to do. And let's find a place. Take her out on Monday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon. Go look at houses, look at apartments. Sit down and do your budget. See what you can and can't afford, right? They talking about houses with all three dogs. Maybe it's not a rent. Maybe it's a situation where you got to go buy a house and you got to navigate. He talked about the 9 months, right? Man, let's split up for 9 months. My 9-month lease, your 9-month lease, to give each other more time. What time going to do? Just it allows you to procrastinate. And she has to understand who she's dealing with. You're dealing with a guy who did his laundry once a month, right? He's not. That's not a hard decision, right? To do my laundry once a week or do my laundry once a month. Chris is procrastinating. He is slowing down the process for him and Nicole to get a house, and that will be a hang up in their relationship. I'll be surprised that after the decision day, because they're both going to say yes. It is what it is. They're both going to say yes. If they say anything other than that on decision day, there is a problem. There's an issue. There's going to be a big situation. I think they both say yes on decision day. And when they both say yes on decision day, then Chris may say, hey, I got a place that we can figure out. And this is the thing. He wants her to be involved to pick the place. Chris, don't go out there and pick a place by yourself, right? Don't try to be a superhero. Don't try to be the big man on this. Go pick a place where you and Nicole can enjoy together. If y'all gonna be married, go pick y'all do it together. Because if one of y'all do it, if you do it by yourself, try to surprise her, it is gonna be a big situation, a big issue that's gonna take place. They do balance each other out, right? She is fired. He's kind of calm and cool. The balance is there between Nicole and Chris, right? There's a great balance. They do have to have a balance in their life. They balance each other out, and I think the balance with Nicole and Chris is good. We saw here Nicole talk to her dad, Mark. And Mark was saying, look, he likes Chris. He's a good guy. His dad is very supportive of them too. And the dad basically said, whatever y'all make a decision you make at the end is going to be good for me. I just want you to be happy. I want you to be safe. I want you to be caring. And again, it's about her and Chris. And Nicole has to realize that it's about her and Chris. What does she want? What does she want Chris to do? How they expect it? I like the fact they was willing to compromise on the pineapple situation. But there's again, even there lies Chris. Chris was like, hey, I'll let you know when you have talked enough or you talk too much or you're getting too involved in everyone's business. I don't have to give the code word pineapple. They was really able to get rid of all the pineapple stuff and put it into office. I mean, right there, Chris was, again, a very supportive boyfriend, or I mean, in this case, husband, very supportive husband. I think he's there, but again, God, there has to be some type of trait of taking the lead, and she needs somebody to take the lead. And I'm not sure if Chris is ready to do that yet. Can't compromise all the time. There is some things that should be definite in relationships. There should be some things that is willing to work out, and there'd be some things that you need to work on. So we'll see. We'll see how Chris and Nicole pan out a little bit later. But I do think they're both going to say yes on decision day. Not much with them. It's the same old with them. As some of you guys say, it's boring. Not necessarily boring. It's just they're doing well in the communication department. They're doing well in navigating their relationship. They're doing well explaining how things are. And except for the housing situation. Once they get that housing situation done, I think it'll be okay. They just need to get the basics down and find out where they're going to live at. And once they get where they live at, I think everything will be okay with Nick, Chris, and Nick Cole. Once again, hey, questions here. We're just talking Married at First Sight. Sunday afternoon. We're doing some things here, Married at First Sight. So let's move on to this couple, man. There's a lot going on with Shaq and Kirsten. It is a lot going on with Shaq and Kirsten. We see Kirsten, who's set up there. She meets with her brother, and they do a lot of catching up. And she talks about family, not having a lot of time, and conversation about this day after decision day, and trying to navigate how this marriage thing with Shaq is going to work. She said he's happy, but in order for her to be happy, she needs to bring him. It needs to bring him around the family. We've been talking about this for weeks, right? What is the issue with bringing Shaq around the family? Is it his schedule? Because I'm thinking, hey, if you're talking to your family, bring him around here, like to meet your brother at lunchtime. Bring him around to your mom and have him have a conversation with your mom. Bring Shaq, and we see that later on. Bring Shaq around, or invite the family. Everybody ain't busy all hours of the day, right? And he doesn't have to meet them all at one time. It should be mixed in pieces. Right? One piece here. I meet your mom there. I met your dad over here. We get to dad later because dad is a whole different conversation. Why is it that, y'all drop in the chat. Why do you think Kirsten does not want Shaq to meet her father? Is it like she says? Is it because she's not 100% sure the relationship is going to last? And so she doesn't want her dad to get connected to Shaq, or Shaq get connected to her dad, because in a relationship, it's a lot more that's into it. But with her and her brother having a conversation, she was like, yo, he even said, like, yo, have you brought him around dad yet? She's like, nah, I don't want to bring him around dad because dad is like the judge and dad is like the 100% guy, right? Dad is the dude. Dad is that man. Like, if dad says it, then she still like she has to do exactly what her dad says. I just believe that dad has never been keen on the process in the first place. And so that's why he's never been around, right? She doesn't want to bring him on camera. He doesn't want to be on camera. We got the excuse at the wedding. He didn't want to take his COVID test. Well, that could be an excuse too. Well, if I don't take my COVID test, then I don't have to be on TV, right? If I don't take my COVID test, I don't have to come to your wedding. I think dad is an old-fashioned guy, maybe a little bit older than everybody else, right? Sometimes when you're older man, you're stubborn and you're stuck in your ways. But I think her dad is probably stubborn and stuck in his ways that, look, if I say this, or if I'm going to say something, this is what I'm going to be. This is what we're going to have. I'm going to be stuck in my way. I'm going to be here. And that's where he's at. So I think he doesn't want to meet Shaq. And she doesn't want to tell Shaq, my dad does not want to meet you. right? Because he doesn't agree with the process. We've seen this in a couple other seasons where other families didn't want to meet it. I believe Johnny and Bao, right? Dad wasn't keen on the process with that relationship. I think it was one last season where somebody's parent wasn't keen on the relationship or how the process was going, of the married at first sight, that you're gonna marry somebody blindly and not know anything about them. I think that's one of the issues there. But again, and she holds her dad. We know that she holds her dad at a high esteem, and that's it. And nothing wrong with that, right? Her dad is in her eyes is high, and I don't think she thinks Shaq is masculine enough or manly enough to be around her dad. Why do you say that, Glenn? Well, because every time she talks about Shaq in the past, has been manly, talking about masculine. Even the question was asked by one of the experts: "Do you think he's manly enough?" She's like, well, her dad has seemed to be the macho. Well, my dad does this, and my dad does that. And she wants to be the powder princess. She wants to be the pamper princess. She wants to be taking care of the whole kit and caboodle and everything inside of her. So she wants that. And I don't think she is ready to admit that Shaq may not be able to do that for her right now. Not because he doesn't have the money, not because he doesn't want to, right? Just because he's in a different place. She brings up with Shaq, or that he kind of ignores her when he comes into the house. And we saw clips. This is what was interesting. They showed clips of Shaq just not interacting with her when he comes into the house, when he not coming home, or while they were just sitting on the couch. There was no interaction. There was no communication. They were just sitting there. They were like roommates, right? And I'm like, man, this is kind of weird, for the simple fact that y'all are newlyweds. You are newlyweds. I know when I was a newlywed, I'm kind of always on my wife, always around her, always having a conversation. We're always talking, always getting to know each other. And this is after years or two of knowing each other. So you would think, right? You guys are, Shaq and Kirsten is in this 8-week process. Even if you're late, you're coming home, or if you're sitting on the couch, you're doing work, there should be some type of interaction, some type of communication, some type of handhold, some type of put your hand on my lap, some type of basic interaction, which again shows the body language of Shaq. Shaq does not want anything to do with her anymore. I think Shaq is just going through the motions. Shaq is just feeling the process. I'm here just because I'm here, right? He's not, I'm here because she has not moved the needle for Shaq anymore. Even the sex with Shaq, even the sex after sex, Kirsten and Shaq had sex. It seemed like it didn't even move the needle to make the relationship better. It seemed like it just moved the needle to, seemed like it might have even made some things worse in their relationship, because they don't have the communication. She's always whining and complaining. He's always being petty, not showing, meeting her attention or needs. She's asked him several times, "Hey, can you come in the house? Give me a hug, kiss, blah, 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 and respect. Give me this." And he's asked her sometimes, "I need your support in this area of my relationship. And I need your support in this area of the relationship." And I think I agree with you. I think there's sometimes, Stella, that Shaq is a little bit fake. I think sometimes Shaq does do things which is different, right? I think Shaq, he says Kirsten acts one way on camera, and then he acts, and then acts another way off camera. I think Shaq sometimes acts one way on camera and acts another way off camera. We saw that a bit when she was eating a salad a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, "Hey, stop chewing like that." To me, stop chewing like that. Then I asked you about that. He shows that there's a little bit of aggression there that's in there with him. I understand about family, right? I understand people love family. And I'm going back to the family thing. I understand people want to be around other people's family. But this is what Shaq doesn't say. He's not married to her family. He's married to her. And he has to be able to meet her where she's at. Right now, I'm not 100% sure. I'll show you my family after decision day, right? We'll get there, or I'll bring them around after decision day. I need you. Why is he so big on meeting her dad, right? Dad hasn't been around. He said, again, on after party, they've said they spoke to each other on the phone. They had communication. They just haven't physically met each other. And so that one of the things that is where it's at. He has to be able to engage with her and not the family. He's spending so much time about the family. It's about her and him after 8 weeks. Trust me, if you stay married, there's going to be a lot of Thanksgivings. There's going to be a lot of Christmases. There's going to be a lot of birthdays and barbecues that you can hang out at. Now, that's a problem. I'm from the South. I mean, I like barbecues and cookouts. There's going to be one. I think they filmed this in the summertime. I think they got married in July, right? So around about the fall time now. He should have been to somebody's family barbecue, right? Somebody's family reunion. But if you realize Kirsten lives as if she is really not engaged with a family like that anyway. From when she had the apartment, go back to where she didn't have any pictures or anything in an apartment or the family. She just didn't the different dynamics. How I wonder how close is she to the rest of her family anyway? She may talk about family, she may like family, but how close is she really to her family that she really has to have that interaction? She may not have a good relationship with the rest of her family. So the only time we should tell. He has to be able to embrace her. All right, have to embrace her. And if the problem is family, include her in your family, right? Bring her to around your people, keep them attached. But the thing with Shaq is, remember, Shaq is not necessarily from Tennessee. All his family has to come in, and so that's going to be an issue with their relationship, man. Even when he cooked her breakfast for dinner, right? It seemed that I know she had dinner with her brother, but be respectful. Come on, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's sit down and let's talk about a conversation. Let's talk about where we are. Let's have a conversation about where we at. So that's one of the things that their biggest issue. I like Shaq, right? I like Shaq. I like Kirsten. I think they can work well together. They just both need to get out of their own heads. They both need to get out of their. I think they both in their mind. They both in their own heads, and they really are saying the same thing, and they don't get it. Like he needs. This is my love language. I need the affirmation. I need the support. I need you to be around. I need you to be able to stroke my ego a little bit, lack of a better term, or stroke my back. And she's like, look, I need the affection. I need the hug. I need the reassurance that you're going to be around. I need the communication with you. I need you to be open. I'm trying. Okay. What does trying look like to you? Those are all the questions that they need to do the answer in their relationship before decision day. Like, what is trying? Right? What is this your 100? Because her 100% may not be his 100%. And what he expects. I think Devon Franklin told him that a while ago. Look, explain to her what you want to see. Explain to her what you want, and then she'll be able to move on and get the progress or make it to that level. And so I think that is one of the big issues that they have. Even when they went to church, right? They went to the church, right? And they both talked about church as a child and being intentional, right, about their faith and pushing each other to go to church together, to go to churches, and that's fine, right? They both have praying for guidance and to put forth an effort. That is fine. You can talk those things, but unless you begin to apply those things, since they're in church and this Sunday, let's talk about it. How can two walk together except they agree, right? How can I agree with you if I don't know where you want me to be at, right? So we got to sit down. We got to work out a plan again for our family. Work out a plan for our livelihood. Work out a plan. Talk about from everything from A to Z. What does our mornings look like? Do we pray together? Are we going to fast together? Are we going to talk to each other every day? Am I going to call you? Not call you? Again, I think in this concept of married at first sight, unlike dating, you're going to have to set boundaries and guidelines and goals and expectations and be like, here, before we even get into these 8 weeks or we get into this process, this is what I believe my relationship should look like. Can you meet this relationship? Or is there obligations? So here, let's compromise on what can get involved in our relationship. Are we going to pray together? We're going to read together. We're going to fast together. After this, end of this process, do you want to move back into your place? Do you want to move back in my place? Do you want an apartment? Do you want to get a house? What's your financial goals like? Or aspirations? Are you going to move? In that case, are you going to move out of Tennessee? Will you take another job? I don't think, in my opinion, that they had all these things. They're not having all these things, these conversations. These are deep conversations, not like it's a job interview, but it's a conversation that we have. Hey, if you go to church, where are we going to go to church at, right? What kind of pastor do you like? Are you Baptist? Are you Pentecostal? Are you Church of God in Christ? Are you Catholic? Are you, whatever the case may be? Are you Muslim? Or you don't believe in God at all? It is those things that they have. You have not seen Shaq and Kirsten really get into the meat of things. Everything's been surface level with them. It's been things that it's really, to me, in my opinion, are easily fixable. I need you to go with me on my trips. Can we do that? Yes. Can you plan around you? Because she's a real estate. Can you plan around your schedule to travel with me? I really need your support. Whether for him to show her off to his friends or show everybody. Again, the communication piece they do not have. They need to be able to write things down, explain what to the other person, how their needs are going to be met, how I expect you, or how I would like you, not expect, how I would like you to meet my needs. And when we get to that compromise, can you do that? Can you obtain that? Can we balance that? I know some things that Jack wants. I know how there's some things that she needs. So I make it a conscious effort to try to meet those things. And likewise, she knows there's some things that I like, there's some things I need, and she make a conscious effort to meet those needs. And I think that's what they're not doing. They're not making a conscious effort to meet their needs, and their expectations are too high. And what I mean by expectations are too high, they're expecting a 8-week marriage to look like 20 years. You've been married 8 weeks. Your 8-week marriage is not going to look like that you've been around or been together for 20 years. That's not going to be the case. It's only been 8 weeks. So it's not going to be like your grandma's marriage. It's not going to be like your dad's marriage. It's not going to be like anybody else's marriage. It is going to be what it is. And then Kirsten and Shaq has to create it for themselves. And I think that's the issue with Shaq. Shaq has an expectation of what he wants it to look like. And because it doesn't look like that, he's having issue trying to help Kirsten. And Kirsten has an expectation of what she wants Shaq to be, because she wants Shaq to be her daddy, and he's not her daddy. And because he can't live up to what she thinks her daddy's going to want to see with Shaq, she doesn't want to bring him around. And then she has an issue with what Shaq has done and what Shaq is doing. So that's one of the things that's going on with Shaq and Kirsten. Yeah, it's just me. I'm rocking solo today. Everybody got stuff going on. Even Jack got some stuff going on. My daughter, Tommy, them got some going on. And Talisa have they. Look, I enjoyed this. I love hanging out with you guys, D. And so it's wonderful, man. I enjoy talking Married at First Sight. So I just wanted to get on, hop on, because I got a lot of stuff to do after this anyway. But I wanted to get on and talk Married at First Sight. So it's me. So if you got questions, comments, drop them in the chat, and we can just make this as interactive as possible. For those who just hopping on, talking about Kirsten and Shaq, they just need to get out of each other's way and just have deep, detailed conversations about what we want. She dropped her wall a little bit, and he's built the wall up. And as his wall was going up, and his wall was going up, and her wall was coming down, they never met in the middle. And so they both have walls, and so they need to be able to bring those walls down some way, some shape, some form. And it's like it is very simple. Sit down, have a meeting, conversation. This is my expectations. This is what I like for you to do. This is what I need. You really think? I don't know. I think she did like Shaq. I think she liked Shaq. I think she grew to like Shaq. I think the issue, I think the house situation, when he said he's not going to buy the house, that caused a little riffle in their relationship. I think when he kind of, I don't want to say scolds her, or when he talks to her, like, remember at the beginning scene, at the beginning of the season, she said, "I don't like when you talk to me like that." I think it was on the honeymoon. She was like, he still talks to her like that, right? He talks at her sometimes and not to her. And I think she does like him, and she's grown to like a lot of his attributes. I think she's grown to like a lot of things about him. I think he's just turned off because he's not getting the support he feels that he needs. I don't know how much cooking she does. And then it looks like their schedules are totally different. You got to have a balance. You got to have a balance. I think this is the biggest thing in their life. I think her brother talked about it, and I went back to that. You got to have a balance, right? Shaq works. He does a mentoring group. He does all this other stuff. And she's like, what about me? Right? She talked about what about me? Like, where do I fit in the equation of your life? And trust me, I've been there, right? I know when you do multiple things in marriage, or you do multiple things outside of your marriage, work and coaching and church and different activity organizations and activities, your spouse sometimes can feel like they're the second tier or fifth tier, or based on your list of things, your spouse is like number 10 in some relationships. And I think that's what she feels like. She feels like she feels like he has put her number 10 on the list and not 1. And that's the problem. And he's turned off by her by the simple fact that he's not getting the attention he needs, or the support he needs outside of the home. He needs the support. He wants everybody to see the support that he has outside of the home. He wants everybody to know, hey, I got this woman. She's married to me. Arm candy, whatever reason may be. Oh, he's very uninterested in her when he comes home. He doesn't want to hear the whining. He doesn't want to hear the complaining. He doesn't want to hear none of that. When he comes home, maybe because he's tired, maybe he's late nights. See, when those clips they showed didn't give us much detail, right? Was it 11 o'clock at night when he coming home? Is it like midnight? Is it 10:30? Is it 5 o'clock in the afternoon? I need some details. Even then, if you're tired, sometimes it's nice to be nice. I think I mentioned on our video, right? There's sometimes I come home and I'm tired. I sit in the driveway for like 15, 20 minutes before I even go into the house. Because I want to get my mind focused. I want to take the day away from me. And when I walk in the house, when my 10-year-old comes and give me a hug, or Jack comes give me a hug and say good afternoon, I don't want the pressures of what happened outside of the house to be involved inside of the house. So what I do is make sure I leave whatever is going on with me outside. And then I come in, and then we have family. And what he needs to do, he needs to come in and be supportive. And even if it's, I'm not saying that's really fake. Hey, give her a hug, give her a kiss, whatever case may be. How are you doing? How was your day? That's all you gotta ask. Let her do. If you're tired, let her do the conversing, right? Let her do the talking. How was your day? Start the movement. She asked him when he come in the house, because again, engage. Hey Shaq, by the way, I know you're late. How was your day? I left something for you. Because it seems like they don't talk throughout the middle of the day neither. Like, leave a message for him. By the way, I'm going to bed. If I'm asleep when you get home, wake me up. I would love to talk to you. Remember when last week when he talked to Chris, right? He said she wants to stay up all night and talk till like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. He said he can't do that. Again, set some boundaries on the schedule. Hey, we love to talk, but you know what? I need to be in bed by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Jack does all the time. Like, look, I can't stay up with you. I need to go to sleep. Cool, go to sleep. Let's have a conversation tomorrow morning and set the boundaries. You know, it was rude. Oh, I totally agree. It was rude. Even the time when they were sitting on the couch with each other, right? You see the body language. See, this is why I like this footage, because it shows what happens when the camera's off. When there's no really production team there, there's no crew. This is like what's in the apartment. And I think sometimes they forget what goes on in an apartment. They forget that there's cameras there, so you get to see the real them. There's no interaction there, right? There's no love that's there. There's no, again, I mentioned earlier when I was talking about Shaq and Kirsten, they're your honeymooners. 8 weeks in, they should still be some type of affection. You should still be rubbing on top of each other, laying on her, putting your hand on her, holding hands. I do think, again, he's checked out. That he's done. I think he was done a couple of weeks ago. All right. I really think, based off of the Married First Sight timeline, I think he's done a couple of weeks ago. She's not what he's looking for. Family's big to him, and she's not giving him a family situation. She's not communicating to him the way he needs. I think sometimes he don't think she's intellectual enough on his intellectual level. I think that he does. I think he's tired of the whining and the complaining. I just don't think they're going to make it on decision day. She may say yes, but in my heart of heart, he's going to say no, that they don't match and they're not compatible and they're not to the place where they need to be at to continue this. I think they should continue. I think everything they need or everything they don't have is fixable. It is definitely fixable, and they just need to continue to work on it. So, what y'all think? Do you think Kirsten and Shaq can work on the relationship? Do you think who do you think will say yes on decision day? Who do you think will say no? Drop it in the chat. Let me know. For those who are watching live, drop it in the chat. For those who may watch this on a replay, drop it in the comment section. Who's going to say yes? Who's going to say no when it comes to Shaq and Kirsten here in the next couple of weeks on decision day? Can they make it? Can they not make it? I don't know, man. I hope they can, because again, right now it only looks like Chris and Nicole will be hanging around, or Chris and Nicole will be there. How sad is it? This is well, yeah. They both say this is what I thought was sad, and I didn't know. Me and Jack talked about it, and when she invited everyone to her party, and only one person showed up. I think it was her mom that showed up. Like, where's the rest of your family at? I don't know too many people that miss our free food, right? Where's the rest of your family? Where's the rest of your family? He was hurt by the fact. Makes you question, did she invite the rest of her family? Like, did she really invite? Did she really make it an effort to come on? Is her family shy of the TV screen? I'd rather her had them family like, you know what? We need a private moment. We're going to have dinner. They don't want to be filmed. You invited people over and your family over, and you got nobody. That's what Herbert, man. You taking my money. Bro. They don't like either. She the black. They may not like her. They may not. You know what I think? Sometimes with her, I think they think she's the bougie family member. She's the Hillary Banks of her family, right? they know where they're really from, and she act like she's on a different level, and they may not want to rock with her because I don't know family that be like, "Hey, I'm inviting y'all over Sunday afternoon, got dinner, you ain't gonna pay for it. I just need y'all to come hang out. Let's come through, right? Let's ride or die with me. Come through and let's have a conversation. Eat dinner with eat dinner with me and my husband. Sunday dinner. Matter of fact, let's go to church together, and then after church we eat dinner. Like find out where you aren't going to church that day, your grandma, whoever, your mama, your dad, and let's have dinner." I was like, yo, she can't get nobody. Shaq was disappointed. I'd have been disappointed too. Even if she doesn't invite any people because she's not sure about him, right? If you're trying to get sure, I'm gonna put your question out there, Stella. Even if she is not sure about him, your family should tell you the truth, right? Your family should say, "Hey, I don't like him." Best way to do it: have the conversation over dinner. Have the conversation over some meals, some food. If y'all drink, some drink, whatever case may be, let it flow. And then your family say, "You know, mama, grandma, auntie, girl, he ain't for you." Or they'll tell you, "You know what? You better not lose this one because he a good man." Because they know she's the one that messing up. Something doesn't make sense. Ooh, you think she low key shaming Shaq? For what? Why? Bald head? I mean, really, if you take my ladies out there, those watching, you take Shaq out there, right? If you just describing him to some of your friends, he works for a university, all right. He does some stuff in the community. He is kind of a renaissance. He makes his own stuff, do things like that. Um, he has been masculine because she forgot he did change her tire and do things for her, meets her needs. He's just not as affectionate as he has been at the beginning of it. What makes her ashamed? Because he's not as masculine as she wants, as she thinks in her eyes. Because he's not her daddy. That's a good question. I mean, good question. Why would you be? What would you be ashamed of? So you brought up she's ashamed of Shaq. What is she ashamed of? What is it that Shaq? What makes her ashamed of Shaq? Nah, it's she might be. It might be. It's a good point. Like you when you start like not bringing, because again, I poured this out a couple weeks ago. If you ask the guy, if a guy says, "You know what, I'm not bringing this girl around my family," you can think he's cheating. You can think that something's going on within the family. Like when God doesn't bring a girl around his family, we're gonna have some issues, right? There's gonna be some questions. There's gonna be a lot of questions. But now you have a female not bringing a man around her family for what? Oh, he's childish. I do give you that. I'm gonna not use the word childish. I'm gonna use the word attention seeking. He needs a lot of attention, and need a lot of affirmation. He needs a lot of attention. All right, he wants the pats on the back because he feels he works hard. He wants a wife to be able to support him and to give him everything that he needs. Is that wrong? Right? Is it wrong to want her to be supporting you? Now, it's wrong in this aspect if he's not willing to support her, right? If you're not willing to reciprocate in a relationship, then I think that's an issue, right? If you have something going on, I'm gonna support you. I got something going on, Jack gonna support me. Does she come to everyone when I'm coaching? Does she come to every football game? No. All right. Do I go to every concert that she has, or she's singing, or whatever she may be doing? No, but we make it understand I cannot make it because of this schedule. I can't make it there, but I'm supporting you. I'm rooting you on. Send me the link. I may be able to watch where I'm at. I'll be able to give you some communication. And I think that's where it relies at. They have to have a balance. And he does act. I do give you that. I'm not knocking it. He does act childish in some situations. He's quick to cut things off, right? He quick to change some of the narrative. So he has a lot of growing up in marriage to do, and I think that goes from the expectations of what he has for marriage, and she's not meeting his expectations as of yet. So that's where Shaq and Kirsten. I hope they can get it together. I hope she can eventually invite some family over. I hope they will. I just hope they say yes on decision day. I don't think so. It's not gonna happen. He needs a balance. And the problem is she doesn't feel a balance, and she doesn't feel like Shaq is doing. I don't think she thinks Shaq is doing enough to balance the relationship between her. She wants to feel um, she wants to feel important in the relationship. There you go. She wants to feel important in the relationship, and I don't think he has made her to the point where she feels important in the relationship as of yet. Bingo. That's it. They both need to work on a relationship. He wants family. He wants the support. He wants the family. Shaq, again, his family told you. Shaq has the one to organize everything. Shaq is the I don't you gotta get that one family member. Remember that Calvin commercial back in the day with McDonald's? Like Calvin's a manager at McDonald's, right? Or he's the top, or he's the first person to go to college in his family. And Shaq seemed like he's that guy in his family that does above and exceeding everybody else. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking that, right? There's nothing wrong with being the first year to graduate college. I was. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. You're at that level, but there's a point where your family, Shaq wants everybody to applaud his accomplishments, right? Sometimes you got to appreciate the own things that you accomplish, and you don't need really the support of others. I know the family is very important to him, and he wants her to be there. Um, she does need to feel more desired. He doesn't make her feel desired. Again, he needs to. There's a part in both of this. They both play. He needs to show the romantic side and that she need from him, right? And show that she needs to show him that she cares about what he does and who he is and what he's accomplished. And then they can be able to work together with that. If they can do that with each other, then I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be all right. Let's move on, man. My man, Arris, right? Y'all still chat. Appreciate you guys. Anything else you got going on with them? Hop in the chat. We're talking about it today. I Married at First Sight. Riley solo tonight. Everybody got things going on. I still wanted to hop on this afternoon because there's things that I need to take care of. So wanted to make sure I give you guys the content for this afternoon. And we're talking about Married at First Sight, season 16, episode 18. What our safe word is a discussion with me. All right, Glenn, discussion today. Let's talk about Arris, man. Arris even, where do I want to go? Arris and Jasmine. I even start with the beginning, right? When you saw Arris and Jasmine laying in the bed and was talking about, they were conversing about the weekend. He said, like, I'm glad the weekend went better, and I need you to do certain things for me more. I like how you spoke up and how you was more directive and how you were more direct. And he said that was good for him. That turns him on, or not necessarily turns on. It makes him feel good. And Jasmine, like, she needs to continue to make a safe space for me, and that will create the intimacy, right? Having a safe space where they can talk and discuss situations. I wish they would have done this earlier, but I think he really turned her off with the sex stuff. And when she didn't give him what he wanted at the beginning, then he was like, not gonna work out. Not attracted to her. But now he's finding. But he always talked about all the good qualities and the good characteristic things that he saw in her. Right? She's smart. She's intelligent. She can walk in the room and captivate the room. She can walk in there and everybody love her. But he never really talked about how beautiful she was. He really never talked about her body. He never really talked about anything else about Jasmine. I think he's starting to see another side of her in these last couple of weeks when she's kind of basically standing up to her. I think I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I think Arris likes the fact that maybe his mom stood up to him, and that's what he finds sexy. He doesn't want somebody he can push over, right? He needs somebody to talk back to him, or somebody to take control in a relationship. And we saw that when they was doing the sex box, or the sex toy that came in. They were talking about the dominatrix, right? He definitely being a dominatrix, and she was smacking him. We get to that in a minute. Oh boy, she can run to your house, Herbert. I hope so, man. Hit her up in the DMs. Look, I think, do she need a run? She might need a run from Arris, but there's something there that she sees that keep her. You start to see the glimmer of hope in her eye, right? You start to see the smile on her face, right? You saw this a couple of weeks ago when Arris is talking. He had a crying there a couple of weeks ago at the table, right? This week he had her smirking and laughing and giggling all over herself. You had her wanting Arris even a bit more when he went back to when he went back to Nashville, when they was on a couples retreat. You see, again, there's something that's transpired in their relationship that makes her want to spend more time with Arris. Whether it's them that sleeping and get closer together with each other, him hugging her, the communication, him probably showing her more attention. It's something that's going on there. Your thoughts here. This is my thought on the whole dance situation. You know, the women are doing their dance thing. For those who didn't watch the show, the Gina, it was Gina Jasmine went to a pole dancing class, and Arris shows up. Now, this is where the production called Arris, the Jasmine called Arris, the Arris overheard a conversation that they were going to a pole dancing class, whatever case may be. Arris shows up at a pole dancing class while Jasmine is dancing on the pole. Just happened to stop by the bank that day and had some fives and ones, and Arris is making it rain while she's in there dancing. Now, granted, she probably, she could dance. She teach competition cheerleading, right? She can dance. We know she can dance. She just doesn't dance to the pole. Bruss comes out and say, man, how much you think you can we get one of these in the house? I laugh and I chuckle because I'm like, you got 5 days left, bro. Like, if you want, you can go buy a pole so she can dance 5 days in the house, but you just said that you're not attracted to her. The only reason that you're attracted to her now is because she's dancing on a pole. I know the money was fake, man. It was like fives and ones. It wasn't real. Whatever the case may be, they had some. But the thing is, he's attracted to her now because she's dancing on a pole. What does that say about you as a person, Arris? I mean, really, what does it say about Arris, right? There was no attraction there until you realize her dancing on a pole. Now you're like, oh, I want to bring that to the house. Or now they feel like even the experts to the point where they feel like they need intimacy because he's starting to see her being more attractive. Really? She got to dance on a pole for anyway. She's a pretty woman already. Dancing on a pole shouldn't determine if she's attractive or not, right? But that's what he likes. That's what he used to. That's what he desires or he wants. He wants somebody. And she never says she wouldn't do that. She's just not going to do that on a continuous basis. She's not that type of person. She wants to conduct herself as a lady. All right. She wants to be a lady. She wants to keep herself, everything together as a lady. So I don't know. I didn't like that part because it seemed more sexualized. That Arris now is that the attraction is there because she's doing that type of stuff. The communication piece. She's the same woman. She looks the same. Then he goes into the questioning. This is where me and Jack had the disagreement at. We had disagreement. He's asking her, like, what's the qualification for a stripper? And to me, it sounded like he's asking her, like, yo, are you going to go apply for a job? Like, are you did that very well. I think you can go do this. I think you can go do this for, like, a side hustle. That's just my thought. She's like, nah, he ain't mean it like that. He was just joking. He may not have meant it like that. To me, it came off and he was like, yo, like a joke, like a qualification of stripper. Nah, qualification is can you dance? Right? Can you dance? Can you drop the money? Successful ones, can you drop the money? Can you dance? And can you bring some stuff in? So he hasn't did that. Then, like I said, Dr. Pepper and them feel like they're on a different level to break intimacy. My brother didn't know what to do with a feather. You kind of, feather, you touch each other. You sensitive points. You have sensory nerves all over your body. So the feather, that's what it's for. All right. Then this is the one like, oh, domination. He handcuffs himself, put on the back, smack me. Do what? Like, hit me harder. Like, Arris is into some, each his own. I'm not knocking anybody. Is what it is. But I was just like, for him for what he said and all the stuff he said about her and all the times that he made her mad or she felt like she should have slapped him for like a good one. I'm just saying. Ladies out there, I was going to put the question out there. If Arris had told you to smack him, would you give him a soft one or would you give him a hard one? Right? What kind of smack would you give Arris here? But again, Jasmine seems like she's still falling for Arris. She's like she head over heels. This dude is giving you the energy. And he might have changed. I don't know what it is on a daily basis, but he might have changed a little bit. He's spending more time with her, I think that's one of the biggest issues that he's spending more, not issue, one of the things that contribute to where they're at now. There's more time being spent with her. It is intentional. It is not like she's on a job interview. It's not like he's not just asking questions to ask questions, but he's actually trying to get to know who she is. And I think that's what's making her draw more to Arris. That's what's making her feel like, he does really care. Don't get fooled. Don't be fooled. Run. He doesn't want you. He doesn't want you. He told you. He doesn't know. He's going through the motions. Again, he's Marshawn Lynch. I'm here just so I don't get fined. That's what I think about Arris. Arris is just there. Talk about both of them been holding their guard up. They've been sitting there. They wish they were there. They could have been to this level a long time ago. It's just a matter of them having patience, getting outside of their own heads. Arris realizing that she is not what you're used to. This is the biggest issue we talk about all the time. If they brought somebody on here that you was used to, then you will get the same result. They're giving you something different because you're all married for sight for a reason. You're not married for a reason. You haven't been in a long-term relationship for a reason, because what you've used to has not worked out. What you used to has not worked. So I just need embrace the person for 8 weeks. Get to know them. Really try to get to know them and see if it works. With Jasmine, she just needs confidence, right? Confidence to say it's okay to say no. It's confidence to say, you know what, I don't like that. Confidence to say you're not treating me like that anymore. Confidence to say, you know what, I disagree with what you're going on. She doesn't have to always appease or please Arris, but give him her full emotion, her real emotion, and tell him to move on. Here's again, same thing we talked about Kirsten and Shaq. Here are my expectations. Here's what I'm going to do, not going to do. This is what I need you to meet at. And can you meet these? Can you live up to this? Or can you be this? Can we strive to get there? And same way, can you, same thing, Arris, here's my expectations. What can we do? Which question? Here we go. Let's find this question. Just side of his head. Everybody got married at first sight that wasn't attracted to a woman that ended up working and does not ever work. It doesn't ever work. Was that guy never attracted to a woman? Let's see. No, Greg was attracted to her. Jamie was attracted to Beth. I have not seen it. That I recall, there have not been one. There has not been one that I can recall that wasn't attracted to a woman that ended up working and does not. It doesn't ever work. Nah, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because I think physical attraction has to be there, but it also has to be emotional attraction that has to be there as well. There has to be some type of attraction that deals with both of them. They got to have the attraction. There has to be something, right? If it's not the attraction, it's something else. Because Jamie Otis wasn't attracted to Doug, but they grew into it, right? But it was something else that was built there upon their relationship to make them stay. Jephte was attracted to Sharnice. But again, it was like stranger danger. If you remember Jephte, right? The season of Boston, stranger danger, stranger danger, stranger danger. And he still thought she was pretty, but there were some things that he had to get over and work over. And they eventually still stayed married, but they had a rough road, but it was willing and committed to work. I think Jephthe's the closest one to answer your question. I think Jephte is the closest one that's there. It wasn't attraction. It was something he didn't like. It was the stranger situation. He wasn't used to her, and now he's where he's at. Oh, but Rhonda, women does that. Men do that too. Men will work with women and to build on attraction. I think men do that on this show. Chris is different. Chris and Paige, that's a whole different situation. I think men will work on attraction if they find something that they really like in that relationship. I think in outside of the show, men do that. On this show, I have not figured out which one, and maybe this is where I need Jack. I'll probably ask that question later. I don't think of any man that's been on this show where they wasn't attracted to their spouse and they still continue on a relationship. I think every one of the men have been attracted. The closest probably Mitch from last season. Mitch has probably been the only one that you think of. you know, that I can think of, and that we know how that worked out. It didn't work out. So married at first sight, no, I can't think of anybody on married at first sight, Stella, where a man hasn't been attracted to a woman and it got to that point. Um, Good question though. That's a good one. All right, here we go. We got somebody who answered local neighbor dad, right? Let's here we go. Let's see if we can get this bad boy over here. All right, here we go. Good question. I tried it once. It really hurt that woman. I can't make myself attracted to someone only because they are a good person. Never works. And yeah, there have to be something there. You have to got to be something there. If there's attraction, was love, laughter, pretty. What are you attracted to, right? Some people are not always. For some people, it's always not the look. For some people, it is the personality. For some people, it is the communication. Some people, it is the quality time. For some people, it's not necessarily 100% looks because they don't have to look like Kim Kardashian, don't have to look like The Rock, don't have to look like Roman Reigns, doesn't have to look like whoever. Insert the favorite actor here, which is a standard. Some people look at him like, you know what? I like the way you talk, or I like the way you communicate with me. I like the way that you dress, or whatever case may be, and that attraction builds off of it. Sometimes the energy moves and flows to somebody. Of course, you want somebody to. The initial attraction is what you see. You see their personality, you may see their body, you may see whatever case may be. It is something that's there. But on Married at First Sight, nah. Do y'all think it would work on Married at First Sight if you showed them the person's body and not the face? Right? Because you don't know the person. Just give me half of the body or silhouette or something. Here, this is what you're getting ready to marry. Would you think that would make a person different? Would it make a difference in Married at First Sight if they just show them a silhouette? You know, we talked about like go back to Bennett and Amelia. They knew each other, right? They seen each other. Miles and Karen knew his name, not who he was. So those things might make a little bit of difference in Married at First Sight. I think the aspect of not being seen makes a difference. Not right, still ain't gonna work. You got to talk to somebody. Still got to see where they at. But it might have kept some relationships longer. Like Alyssa would have said, you know what, Chris from last season, not for me. All right, I'm bailing out. I'm done. Gone. All right, but I think then if that person checks out before the show starts, then you replace them, right? You replace them with somebody else. But I guess it wouldn't be Married at First Sight then if you show somebody a body or a silhouette. Just a thought. But I think in this situation, Arris needs to grow up just a little bit. Jasmine needs to be able to have more confidence in herself and realize that, you know what, Arris is not the one for her. I think they both say no. I think they both say. I don't think neither one of them say yes. I think she checks out and Arris may just say yes. If she says no, Arris may say yes because he knows the relationship's not gonna work anyway. He doesn't want to look bad on TV. So it's depending who's asked. All right. Depends on who's asked. So let's move on. Last one. Gina and Clint. This right here, dog. When they break up by them being good friends and they're no longer together, Hank needs to go with Clint. Give Clint the dog. I don't know if and this divorce, when they get divorced because they're married, can Clint ask for Hank? Can Clint ask for Hank? That would be. We'll get to her. I'm gonna touch on that before I leave out of here because I do think the relationship, if they would switch, it will work. Hank and Clint had a great relationship, right? Hank and Clint, they love each other. Doggy chinos, cappuccino, all that. I did not know Starbucks gave like doggy treats like that. I don't have a dog, but puppy chinos, like whipped cream and all that, is great. But Gina did blindside my man. I'm gonna talk about Gina. Gina did blindside Clint when they was talking to the experts. I was like, yo, did you just say that? Like, did you really just say like this dude doesn't do anything for you? Gina is terrible. She is terrible. Hank think we're good friends. We sitting here chilling. And when Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper was talking to them, she just like, I don't like his immaturity. I don't like he does this. I don't. And Clint was like, dang. And he was like, Swiss cheese, like holes, boom, boom, boom. Where did that come from? Like where did all this come from? Like you didn't tell me none of this. We talk every night. We have discussion. I cook for you, right? I do all these things in the house, and you never once said none of this stuff. You never had a discussion with me about the issues that's going on. Like that's my issue. Don't just blindside me. Shoot, this ain't Survivor. Don't blindside me, right? Tell me from a while back. Let me know what's going on. We talk every day. Let me know. You know what? You're good friends, but I don't like when you do this. I don't like when you get drunk and I got to put you to bed and you party too much for a 41-year-old. You live in a bachelor's life or you live in a frat boy life. Whatever case may be, have the conversation. Maybe she didn't want to have the conversation because she knew the relationship wasn't going anywhere. I don't know, but for her to be to throw my man underneath the bus like that in front of the experts, I thought was wrong. Gina is totally wrong for doing that. And then she couldn't answer Pastor Cal's question. Like, what you want? What do you want? Like, if you say he's not it or he does, explain to him or tell him what you want. Or he's not the question was, the statement she made was, he's not treating me like a wife. Well, how do you want to be treated? Tell me how you want to be treated. Let him know what is he not doing. What husband qualities aren't he showing? Because she had a mouthful of insults and mouthful of problems or a mouthful of things that he's not doing. Tell him what he should be doing or what he could do to make it more of a relationship, make you feel more like a wife. I mean, let's see, he's cooking. He's taking care of the dog, which she asked for, because if you go back to what she wanted somebody to be able to take care of Hank. She's doing all the things that he asked her to do. He's maintaining things. He has a great job. He's doing this. But she's the one that works all the time. She's the one that's not giving him any attention, not giving him any time. She's the one that didn't want to move in with him. She's the one that he has to beg. I still don't think, and back off of the retreat, they're sleeping with each other. So, like, what are we doing? Right? Why revert back to what you was doing when you made so much progress? And she's not there with him yet. She's not. She's checked out. She's been checked out, and just a good friend. I think they could make it. That's what thank you. I said that on our review. What has Gina done to treat Clint like a husband? Nothing, right? She has not done anything to treat him like a husband. Yeah, he may party a little much. When they talk about cooking, can you cook for him? Oh, he does that. Hello, chef. Maybe bringing a caterer, right? Matter of fact, you could go buy it at a store, put it on a nice plate, come home and say, Clint, I got this for you. You ain't got to lie and say, I cooked it for you. Hey, Clint, by the way, I got this for you. Here you go. Can we try? Let's have dinner together. I brought sushi. Put it on a plate and let's move. Those type of gestures could be a world to help in a relationship. Clint wants it to work. I think Clint wants the relationship to work. It's Gina doesn't. And I think Clint will say yes. But before this episode, I think Clint was going to say yes. And Gina was going to say no. I think when Clint heard the insult and what Clint heard her say, when Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal was there, she's like, no. He's like, nah, I'm not going to do this. I'm not even going to put myself in this situation because, again, I know she doesn't like me. I know she doesn't want me. And I can do better all by myself outside of her relationship with her. Yes, I give Ron. I get it. They're both lazy and lackluster. Like you do some extra for wow. Be a wife. You want somebody to pamper you. Gina wants somebody to be at home while she works all the time and come home and then, well, she never really thought he was attractive anyway. I do think she thought he was attractive. I'm gonna go backtrack. She thought he was attractive until a comment was made, and I still to this day blame Nicole for blowing that comment out of proportion. Nicole, if you go back to the episode where he made the comment about slender and athletic, Nicole took it to a different level, which made Gina feel some type of way even more because it came out of embarrassment. And now Gina has to continue to live up with that. And Clint can never got out of that situation. He wants a relationship where he's trying. Clint said it. I want to be married. I want to have a relationship. He likes Hank, right? He likes Gina as a good friend. There's just no physical attraction because whether the case may be, I think he said he brushed up against her one time and really apologized. Like, dog, don't apologize for that. You can say, he said, sorry, excuse me, and you see if she brushed up against it, like it, whatever the case may be. All right, if he brushed up against her butt, oh man, I'm just trying to don't even apologize. I try to touch your butt, and then let her determine. Oh, that's nasty. Get it off me. Don't ever touch me again. And then you know which way to roll, right? You know which way to play it. If she goes off nasty, if she doesn't say anything, touch her butt again. Try. My thing is not to be a pervert, not to be over aggressive. Try and see if the physical attraction can get there because it's not turned off. Y'all both like each other. Both, I think neither one of them try. They're not trying. It's not hard for you to sleep in a bed with him. It's not hard for you to hold his hand, to hug each other. Y'all, they're just buds. We're best friends. That's what it is. They're best friends, and that's what they're always going to be. They're going to say no on decision day. Both of them going to say no. It's not moving on. And when they both say no, my man Mac is going to slip in. How disgusting was that, right? Mac breaks all man code, right, whatsoever. Even if you knew Clint for 2 weeks, 8 weeks, you do not date or tell another man his wife is attractive, right? Or she looks good, or all the stuff he says. Like, dude, he breaking every man code that there is. And not to say there's rumors out there Clint mess with Dominique. Dog, if y'all swap, y'all swingers, that's what you do. Cool, whatever. But while we're here, nah, you keep that to yourself. Keep that to yourself. We don't need to do that. Yo, Mac right there probably would have got, is to me is disrespectful. Totally disrespectful. You don't do that. All right. But let me see if I can pull up what Mac said. Goes to the gym. He said he gazed the butt. He apologized. Tried to get out of the work. Main focus. Mac is surprised that they're not attracted to each other. He says Gina. He said he'd be attracted to us. He would be attracted to Gina. They like she's the entrepreneur. He should have been matched with Gina and not Clint. Mac just want to be on camera. He might just want to be on camera, but he said it right. He said, "I'm attracted. Look, they should have matched me with Gina." And that could have. Do y'all think Mac and Gina would have worked out? Do you think Mac and Gina could have, coexisted or could have evolved to where it's at right now? Let me know. Leave a comment in the chat. Drop that in the chat. Is there a chance that does Mac have a chance with Gina? Can Mac and Gina work out? I don't know. Why would you want to? And it seemed like Mac was really asking a question like, have you and Gina did anything yet? Because if not, I'm gonna slide in with it, right? If y'all haven't done anything, that makes it even easier for me because I don't want sloppy man seconds. Like I don't want your seconds. To me, I think Max had some alternative motives with his conversation, with his discussion. It was all alternative motives. He really wants Gina. And we see on the previews that he's like, done slid into Gina's DMs already. Like, bruh, like there's no way. There's no way. Yo, I know I see you, Charlene. He don't even have his own place. He doesn't care. He'll move into her place. She'll move him in to the apartment. They move in. They go to the next level. They go to the next place. He'll move in with Gina. If Gina, she'll move into the condo, right? And Clint will have to see her all the time. I know there's some women. They might not have worked out. They might have. She may not want to visit him in the basement. We will see. But it's not like Mac. The thing is, even though he didn't have his own place, it's not like he couldn't afford his own place. I think he didn't get his own place because he knew that he wasn't going to stay in Nashville long. That's legitimately why I think Mac never really had a place. It's kind of like what what's the young lady's name? Dominique said, right? It's like Dominique said that she feel that he wasn't going to stay anyway, that he was in and out. I think she really felt that he was just there from California. He was chasing the show. He wasn't chasing a wife. He was chasing the show. I think OT7 Span said that he just want to be on camera. I agree. He was chasing the cameras. He wasn't chasing the marriage relationship, but since he sees somebody, and this is not, let's be honest, this is not the first time he made a comment about Gina. All right, if you go back when the men was on the honeymoon, I believe, and they was a little group setting, Mac made a comment about Gina before. So again, his eyes has been on Gina since day one, right? Since they met, his eyes been on Gina. So gotta watch him. So we'll see next week what he says in her DMs. See how Mac been conning or on Clint's wife. And again, we'll see here in a couple weeks if Clint and Dominique hooked up, because we did see them kind of kiss. We don't know what that's for on previews. If you saw those previews that was out earlier about things that come in the season, so we see Dominic and Clint kiss each other. So it's one of those things. We see how it rolls out. We see how it plays. Hey, I don't know, but I'm gonna go back to Herbert's comment here. All right, and I want y'all to chime in. Do you think, since we talking about couple swapping, right? You like how I transition? We talk about couple swapping. With these 10 people that's on this couple, right? These 10 people, besides, let's go 8, because we all know Chris and Nicole are a good match, right? Chris and Nicole, good match. Do you think Arris and Kirsten would have worked out? Do you think Shaq and Jasmine could have worked out? Could McKinley and Gina work out? And could Clint and Dominique work out? Do we, as a friend of mine say, do we have all the people on the right bus, but just in the wrong seats? Do you see any of those other couples, any other matches, any other of these 8 people matching up and doing well? Let me know. I think Arris and Kirsten could have worked. Could work. She has the physical type features that he's looking for. And I think he would have been more open and inclined to talk to her, open and inclined more to take the lead. I think Jasmine and Shaq could have worked, because she is the homebody that Shaq is looking for. And not the homebody necessarily being a housewife, but remember she told Arris, "I'll run your bath water, put him in the tub, feed him grapes, do all that." And Shaq is more of a more southern, pleasing type guy than Arris in this case. So I think Shaq and Jasmine could have worked. I think they could have worked. Is it going to happen now? I don't think so. I don't think they cross over like that. But I think those two could have worked very well with each other. They would have met each other's needs, complimented each other, and been in a place. Arris and Kirsten could have been, maybe could have been. I think they could have been. Mac and Gina, no. I don't think Mac and Gina could work at all. Dominic and McKinley, I think could work. I think Clint and Dominic would work. She wanted an older man, which Clint is. Let's remember, Dominic wants an older man who's kind of established in his ways, who likes to have a good time. That's Clint, right? That is Clint. Clint is an older man who's established and who loves to have a good time. And that's what she want to look. Go to the club. Hey, by the way, go to the club. Hang out, Dominic, go to the club. Hang out. Boom. Then Shaq can go hang out. Then Clint can go hang out and do what he needs to do. Dominic and Clint, I can see them working. I definitely can see them working. Ooh, she only worked with Shaq because she has low self-esteem. Okay, Stella. I don't think she has. I think her self-esteem is high. I think she knows what she wants. I don't think she can articulate. Right. I think she knows how she wants to be treated and how she wants people to treat her. It's about the articulation piece there and being comfortable enough to say it. And I think Shaq, when made her feel more comfortable to be able to say those things that she felt like she couldn't say to Arris. I think Shaq would have been more comfortable with her and been easier with her to ease her into that. But good point though there. So her self-esteem is a little bit is a little bit low. That's a good point there. She might have been a self-esteem issue. But hey, we'll see, man. I think we should do that. I think they sometimes should swap, not in the middle of this process because they're married at first sight. But I think there should be a process where the couples go back, where the experts go back and reevaluate their process. Like when the show is over and the couples didn't work out, I would love there to be a show where the expert come back and explain why it didn't work out. Give it a special why they can say, and I know they say that sometime, but I mean go into depth, go into pinpoint, okay, it didn't work out because of this. Shaq and Kirsten could have did this, and realize, hey, you know what, we as experts should have did self-evaluation. Because if it's about the show and the environment, I think you want to get the most couples to stay together. So you guys let me know what you think. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me, man. For being on here. Like I said, I wanted to give panel discussion. I wanted to be able to give you my insight input. Everyone else has something going on today, which is understandable. It's Sunday afternoon. Yeah, we all have families. I just was able to do so because Jack's taking care of my daughter right now. It's a mother-daughter thing. So I was able to have some time, some space. I said, let me get on and chat with the folks about Married at First Sight. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Let me know what you think. We're closing up on Decision Day. Decision Day is definitely coming up on Decision Day. We'll see how things work out here in the near future. We see if which couples stay together. Right now, I think there's only one couple that's going to stay together. The one couple I think is going to stay together is Nicole and Chris. The biggest issue I think they do have is just the house situation, which could be fixed. Just find a place that has a dog, right? Matter of fact, if truth be told, make Kirsten go work for you. She's a real estate agent. Get Kirsten to go find you a place where you can have 3 dogs. Let her earn her keep and put some money in your friend's pocket as well. So, hey, we'll see. Only time will tell. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Make sure you share this with somebody else. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you do all that. No for Shaq and Jasmine. I'm trying to get out of here, but you guys keep adding comments. She's too busy with her dogs and gymnastics. He's too busy too with school and everything else. So they might have to be able to find some time with each other, right? They might be able to find some time. And I think that is Shaq's problem. That he has to have been able to have balance. I think that's the only problem with him and Kirsten. They haven't been able to find balance, and maybe them not being able to find balance. There's the word that she says, spark that's not there. Y'all help me out. I know I said I got a couple more closing like a preacher on Sunday morning, right? Here's this last one. What spark are people looking for, right? Have anyone ever been in a relationship and you felt that spark? I felt I liked Jack. I loved being around her. I wanted to be with her. But the spark, what's that spark? It doesn't like just give you that funky feeling in your stomach, that chills. Like everybody in this process, they talking about we don't have that spark. I've been married almost 22 years. You're not gonna have that spark every day. After 8 weeks, they should be talking about a feeling, some emotion. You know what? I can see myself with this person. Even if you look at Nicole and Chris, they haven't really been a spark. They feel like, hey, I like being around you. We're gonna keep working on this. Greg and Kristen, if you go back to Charlotte's season with Greg and his wife, they had a good relationship, right? Austin, you go back to what's his name? Austin and from DC. It was a good relationship. So you can see there's been a little bit of the communication there, the likelihood that them liking each other is there, them wanting to go to see what it looks like after 8 weeks. Brianna and Vincent, there was a like that's been there, and there was a great thing. Was it a spark every day? They used to be for each other. So again, you're not gonna have that spark every day in relationships. You're gonna have a intimate relation. You're gonna have deep feelings, deep love and respect. So I don't know. Just leave a comment section and let me know what that spark is. If you ever had that spark. Sparks are overrated. They are overrated because there's a feeling, right? And everyone doesn't feel the same way every day. That's just my opinion. You disagree. I mean, it's cool to disagree with me. Sparks are not there every day, right? There's some days you're up, some days you're down, some days you like them, some days you don't. Some days you want to be with them, some days you don't want to be with them. It is a situation. It's a feeling. Hey, once again, thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. Once again, hit the subscribe button, bell notification. Thank you for joining us. Have a good afternoon. Enjoy.